Hello, it's Ralph van Dijk from Eardrum. It's time to have a look at the area that I believe holds the greatest creative opportunity for digital radio, and that's integration and branded content. Thanks to multi-platform radio, today, or very soon, your radio station will have at its disposal on-air, online, on-demand, podcasts, station site banner ads, mobile text, digital broadcasts, advertorials, podvertorials, blinks, sponsorships, takeovers, pre-roll online video formats, and a partridge in a pear tree. As you can see, radio brands won't just exist on air. They'll look to extend their brands wherever possible, giving advertisers new ways to access their audience. The question is, does high engagement translate to ROI in terms of dollars earned? Well, I think it does. Branded entertainment is about power of association. It's about being heard and experienced in a given environment, which has a measurable effect on brand salience and brand awareness. So it's great for a brand's relationship with consumers. To impact purchase intent, you really need a targeted advertising campaign to run in conjunction. And as there won't be huge audiences on digital radio in the early days, you can use ads and promos on main stations to point listeners to longer format shows on digital. So these are exciting new times for radio and for radio advertisers. And the great thing is about these new branded content opportunities is that they're pretty cheap. Unlike TV, production costs are pretty small on radio. Almost the entire budget can go toward getting the best talent. But as is the case for radio advertising, the temptation is to be a little too cheap. Because even the simplest form of radio programming still needs to be well written and performed. Without enough time and money invested, you'll be showing up with underwhelming scripts, cliché casting, and bland performances. At Eardrum, we've made several comedy radio shows, some for commercial radio, some for the BBC. These have formed the basis for branded content ideas. For example, for a health insurance company, we used the radio doctor character. The thought being, if you're not insured with Bupa, you'll have to use this guy. He featured in the ads, as well as in a weekly sketch, which was also available online.
You're never alone in Alaska with Yukon Radio.
This is Dr. Norman Such, once again opening his radio surgery for all you living out there in the temperate tundra of Alaska. Now, our first caller is Bob from Kuskokwim Bay. How's the weather, Bob?
Cold.
Right. Okay, what's your problem?
It's orthodontic.
Uh-huh.
I lost a filling last night eating a Twinkie.
And your nearest dentist?
Oh, about 112 miles west on Nunivak Island.
That's why I'm here. Which tooth is it?
It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth tooth from the front on the right-hand side at the top.
Premolar bicuspid. Okay.
Oh.
First thing you have to do is clean up the tooth. You have a drill handy?
Yep.
Sterile?
Well, it's a brand new masonry bit, and I dipped the end in disinfectant.
Good. Okay, just make sure you don't have it on hammer action, otherwise you're going to get a kickback.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you have one, use a hand mirror. It's not essential, but it improves the aim. Locate the cavity.
Uh-huh.
Give it a whirl. Oh, how's that? A little more. A little more.
Okay.
Oh, ow, 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 ow. Ooh, that'll do. And rinse. Okay, now prepare the filling, Bob.
Yeah.
Tile gratting's always good white option, or epoxy resin if you're not bothered about the color, so pack in as much of it as you can.
Okay.
Then bite tightly together to form the shape. Now, leave your mouth open for 2 or 3 hours, depending on room temperature and humidity, for it to completely set. Okay, Bob?
Okay, thanks, Doc.
Pleasure. Next up, Bradley from Noatak in the Baird Mountains, and he's calling about a vasectomy. Bradley, do you have any gardening tools?
Whether you're a creative, brand manager, media planner, account exec, when you get a radio brief or you're asked to do some channel planning, as well as asking, what can I communicate in 30 seconds, ask, how can we get our brand involved in the show? Or, be the show. Yeah, you can sponsor an existing station property, but I believe the real value is when a brand adds to the programming. It's weaved into the fabric of the station. The key is to make sure that it adds to the listener's entertainment and it revolves directly around the product. For example, we've made probably hundreds of advertorials for as many brands. These are 60-second mini programs played in programming time. The subject matter revolves around the product category. There has to be some new information for the listener, otherwise it just ends up being an ad. But the brand gets the positive association. For example, Holiday Inn, we made a guide to business trips. For Tic Tacs, we made a series on how to flirt. For Mercedes, it was a series looking at luxury hotels called Hidden Gems. And for the Hong Kong Tourist Board, we took Suggs, the lead singer of Madness, to Singapore for a week of madness. Then Boddington's, the beer brand, came to us and they wanted to be associated with comedy. The theme was Barrel of Laughs. You can see what we did there. We played 30-second clips throughout the day, and these were taken from live stand-up nights. They were then mixed in with advertorials with comedy team Armstrong and Miller. And they taught you how to be a barrel of laughs. Here's an example of one of the clips, followed by an example of an advertorial.
Ladies and gentlemen, settle down. Virgin Radio and Boddington's A Barrel of Laughs.
One thing I missed from Peckham, we had a bit of excitement in there just before I moved. They put speed bumps up in our road. Just the basic model. You've probably seen a little black lump, 2 white triangles on, pointing out where your exhaust is going to make contact. Different neighbourhoods have different styles. You may have noticed in the posh neighbourhoods, Islington, for instance, they have these rather nice integrated speed plateaus. That's just sort of worked into a bit of mock Victorian cobbling around the edge. And past one the other day was twinned with a village in Provence.
A Barrel of Laughs from Boddington's and Virgin Radio. How to be a Barrel of Laughs with Boddington's and Virgin Radio.
To be a stand-up comedian, you not only have to write jokes...
And the vicar went, no, I said pluck the chicken.
You also have to turn them into a routine.
There you go. 10 minutes of hilarious gags.
Yep, the word gag certainly comes to mind.
Cool.
Where you place your jokes during your act is very important. For starters, always put your funniest joke at the end. That way you'll finish on a big laugh.
Yeah, good thinking.
Then take your second funniest joke, stick it at the beginning. That way you've got a nice front.
Thanks. Well, I do work out a bit.
The third funniest joke goes just before the end. The next funniest after the first, and so on until your act is done. However, always make sure you've got some witty put-downs for any hecklers.
What a load of rubbish.
Not what your girlfriend said last night.
What? Oh, see, that's just a witty put-down, right?
Might be.
Stop messing with my head.
That's what I said.
Cheers, lads. For more info on this funny business, keep listening or log on to virginradio.co.uk. And you too can be a barrel of laughs, thanks to Boddington's and Virgin Radio.
You could then go online to hear the rest of the clips, which pointed you to the digital platform on a Friday night where they did a live from the Comedy Store program. This style of content allows a brand to get even closer to the listeners by adding to the programming and providing quality entertainment.